The Sig Sauer, if I'm saying that right, Sig, I just call it Sig, the Sig P320. Now I don't know if y'all have heard of it, but it's basically getting recalled because it sounded like someone took it out their pants while I was in the holster, put it down, and shot and killed somebody. Someone in the, I think it was the Air Force. So, but let's jump right over into that video and see what it's talking about. But basically, law enforcement is suspending all use of this. So we'll get into this video, and then we'll get into an article where it kind of talks about it. So let's jump into it.
First at 6, a Florida lawmaker is calling on law enforcement to stop using a popular type of handgun, the Sig Sauer P320. He says there have been too many cases of the pistol discharging while holstered. Fox 13's Aaron Mesmer is live at the Tampa Police Headquarters.
All right, let's stop right there. There's been too many instances where the gun discharges while in the holster. Nah, that's the whole gun needs to be gone. There's no way I could carry that gun. When my gun is in the holster, I have two pistols that I usually carry, my Glock and my Taurus, and I've never even seen anything of those two firing in a good holster. You got to make sure it's a good holster, but nah, that's crazy. Back it up a tad bit and start it up.
First at 6, a Florida lawmaker is calling on law enforcement to stop using a popular type of handgun, the Sig Sauer P320. He says there have been too many cases of the pistol discharging while holstered. Fox 13's Aaron Mesmer is live at the Tampa Police Headquarters for us tonight. So, Aaron, what are you hearing from law enforcement in Tampa Bay?
Allie, we reached out to more than a dozen law enforcement agencies across Tampa Bay. Of the ones that responded, only the Tampa Police Department and Plant City Police Department still use this model weapon. We're told that may change at TPD, and at least one retired police officer believes it should. The Sig Sauer P320 is among the handguns law enforcement agencies often allow as a sidearm. It's an option for Tampa police. In 2020, retired TPD officer Bob Northrup had a P320 holstered on his hip, and as he moved his jacket,
that's just when it just discharged.
He says the bullet blew out his ankle.
I was scared to death. I thought somebody at first might be shooting at me, but I stood there for a second and realized that there was something wrong.
According to a recent investigation co-authored by the Washington Post, there have been more than 100 holstered discharges with the P320 pistol since 2016, resulting in at least 80 injuries.
Not only do people's lives get put at risk, the officer's life, anybody that they're around, and in school, it's children.
Hillsborough Representative Danny Alvarez is now calling on law enforcement across the state to suspend the use of the Sig Sauer P320.
At least until we can figure out if we've got a permanent solution that makes that weapon reliable and confident. I want to see people stop using the Sig P320.
Alvarez says he knows of at least 9 agencies in Florida that use this weapon, including the Tampa and Plant City police departments.
Is it worth keeping and finding out later when we have a cop get killed or a citizen that they're trying to protect?
A spokesperson for Plant City PD said there are no current plans to suspend or discontinue use of the weapon. But Tampa Police Chief Lee Burkhaw said the department is now evaluating alternative firearms. He added, the mere suggestion that there may be safety concerns regarding a department-issued weapon becomes a priority for our agency. Northrup believes this should have happened a long time ago.
Sometimes it doesn't even take a tap. Just simply wrenching your body can cause it to fire.
Sig Sauer didn't immediately respond to our request for comment on its website. The company says the P320 meets and exceeds all industry safety standards and cannot, under any circumstances, discharge without a trigger pull. Still, here's what this retired officer thinks.
Get rid of the thing today.
And this week, the U.S. Air Force paused its use of its version of the P320 following the death of an airman in Wyoming. Again, Tampa Police deciding how to handle using the P320 here at the police department. Allie?
All right, Aaron Mesmer live for us tonight. Aaron, thank you.
Absolutely crazy. But let's get into an article where it brings a little bit more into this. So let's jump into that. It is, yeah, if a gun is discharging while you just moving a certain way, nah, the whole gun needs, like, just don't wear the gun no more. The gun, you got to take that off. You shouldn't be. They said 80 people 80 incidents, no, 100 incidents where 80 people were shot, where the gun just discharged and fired on its own. Now, I don't know if it's a holster malfunction or something like that, but they said they were just moving, bending down. I've done all that with my gun on my hip, and it has never even crossed my mind that it would fire. But let's jump over into this and see what it's talking about. This article is talking about. So, the NHPR had previously reported on unintentional discharges involved. A little late, a little bar. Let's go down. So, a major division of the U.S. Air Force is immediately suspending the use of the gun made by New Hampshire's base Sig Sauer following a fatal shooting on a Wyoming base over the weekend. The general in charge of the Air Force Global Strike Command which comprises of more than 33,000 personnel, said in a memo on Monday that he would be pausing the use of 6-hour M18 pistols immediately. So that's the military's version of the P320. Immediately pending comprehensive review of the weapon. A spokesman confirmed the pause of the weapon is directly related to the death on Sunday of an airman at F.E. Warren Air Force Base in Cheyenne, Wyoming. A statement on the base websites provide few details on the facility. On Thursday, the base identified the airman as 21-year-old Brandon Tyreek Lowen of Greenville, Kentucky. I apologize if I said that name wrong. Who serves in the 90th Security Force Squadron. He was a multi-sport athlete in high school who loved four-wheels, hunting, video games, according to his obituary. We are deeply saddened by the loss of the value of a member of the Mighty 90 team, said the colonel, a commander at the base. Our thoughts and heartfelt condolences are with the family, friends, and his fellow defenders during the incredibly difficult time. A Pentagon spokesperson for the Air Force acknowledges the ongoing review of the M18 within the Global Strike Command, but didn't say whether their investigation may expand to other units within the military carrying the pistol. Weapons safety is a critical responsibility and continues to be prioritized. Going to prioritize the security of our airmen and guardians as they perform their challenging missions, said the Air Force spokesman. Nearly all branches of the military have adopted the M18 as well as the M17 as their standard gun. The guns are modeled based on the P320, is what we're talking about, which is sold on a civilian market and is widely used by law enforcement agencies around. The death at the Wyoming base is the latest in a series of incidents in recent years that have raised questions about the 6-hour, both the P320 and the military version of the gun. The gun has been in the center of dozens of lawsuits claiming that the design flaw and then through judges and juries have delivered mixed verdicts over the company's liability in the shooting. In March, 6-hour's headquartered in Newington announced that it would take an aggressive approach to push back against allegations involving the P320, calling concerns about safety lies and misinformation. Now, is it misinformation if it's been 100 incidents in the past couple years and then 80 of them are shot? I don't think that's misinformation. I don't think all those people could have done something wrong or handled the weapon incorrectly. Now, I could be wrong, but the campaign included a successful effort this year to secure a change in New Hampshire's law that protects 6-hour from future liability lawsuits regarding allegations that the gun should come equipped with safety features. Our hearts are with the service members of the family impacted by the recent report, a 6-hour spokesman told NHPR. We have offered assistance to the military in investigating the incident and will remain willing to help furtherance of our ongoing investigation. Now, tell me your thoughts. You think it's just every one of those 100 instances that had the gun accidentally fire are all their problem? That just moving a little bit caused the gun to fire? Is that? Nah, I just think, hey, you need to change it to another gun. It doesn't seem like, hey, until they figure out the SIG company can claim all they want to, but too many people have gotten shot, and then you actually had someone to lose their life because of it. A military person who is trained to handle weapons. You got policemen who are trained to handle weapons and are trained very rigorously to handle and shoot the gun properly, hold it properly, and it fires and shoots them while it's in the holster. Nah, there's. Mm-mm. Now I might be mistaken, but like I said, tell me your thoughts. That just seems like a crazy situation to me. Do you think they should change to another gun? Uh, that is absolutely wild. Like I said, leave me your thoughts in the comments and tell me what you're thinking. But I can't see any other solution than besides changing the gun. Since SIG's saying there's nothing on their part, if they're saying there's nothing they can do on their part, there's nothing wrong with the gun itself. But instances like this still are happening. Yeah, just hey, change the gun. It's over with. We're not even going to use their gun anymore. Once everybody stops using their gun, they're going to be like, oh well, we've done some research. This is the new P3. It stops the problem. Well, even if they try to admit the flaw, that they found a flaw in their gun, that opens them up to lawsuits. So they're most likely never going to admit that there's a flaw in their gun because that would just bring in too many lawsuits. Too many lawsuits. And no company's going to do that. But like I said, tell me your thoughts. I saw that one of my roommates, one of my friends, my roommate, he brought that up to me. And it was just, I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, I had to talk about it and see what everybody's thoughts are. But absolutely crazy. All right, everybody, remember this is AC